All right, so Nate, so to start us off, just tell us what schools you went to.
Okay, so I'm actually from North Carolina. So I went to a school called Hilburn Elementary. Well, I went to Primrose for preschool. And then I went to Hilburn Elementary. I moved out here in the 2nd grade. I went to Eagle Crest, then Altona, and now Silver Creek.
You actually lived in North Carolina long enough to actually go to school there.
Uh-huh.
Because I thought you had just were born there and then moved out here.
No, I moved out here when I was like 7.5.
Oh, wow, so you really, really late.
Yeah, and I actually, one of my best friends from when I was younger, we're going to college together next year too, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your, not influence, but your affinity with North Carolina is, I mean, very, very strong. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys go out there all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I go back there every single summer for about a month, and then, like, some holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, I mean, we still got a lot of family out there, so it depends on the year, but we go out there a lot.
Do you guys have, like, a summer home out there or something like that, or do you guys stay at a different hotel every time?
Well, actually, we stay with family. We stay with both sets of my grandparents, and then my aunt and uncle have a beach house, too, on the Outer Banks, so we go and stay there.
And what about North Carolina makes it so that you constantly want to move out there? I mean, sometimes people will move away. Like, for example, Tim hates Massachusetts. Like, why do you still enjoy going out to North Carolina?
I think, well, I'm just like a super sunny and 75 person. Like, if it's below 75, I'm freezing. I love the trees. I'm like a super nature person in the sense that I love nature that's like warm, kind of like lush green, and I'm a beach person too. I don't really like the mountains. I'll go on like mountain drives, but I don't really hike or ski. It's just like more my kind of place, I guess.
Well, what sort of interesting memories do you have of going out there and visiting North Carolina?
Well, I'd say like my most fun memories are definitely at the beach, and something actually really interesting happened to my family last summer, or I guess it was just to me. So where we stay in Kitty Hawk, which is like where the Wright Memorial is at. And like the Outer Banks is like a super thin stretch of land, and so like anyone that's there, I mean, you're just surrounded by water. Like the right side of you is the ocean, the left side of you is the sound side, or like where all the boats are docked and everything. And so like everyone there, you're just gonna walk around like shorts and a tank top. I mean, you drive up and down the island, you see like those 10 Confederate flags, and like you go in the grocery store and that like 45-year-old's wearing that string bikini that she probably shouldn't be wearing, but like that's the atmosphere of the beach town or whatever. So last summer, my mom and I, we have this like tradition, I guess, that every day before going onto the beach, we would go and get some sweet tea from McDonald's. So like it'd be like 9 a.m. we go to McDonald's, get a large sweet tea, and then head on the beach and stay there till like 5. This particular day, we drove into the McDonald's, and the drive-thru was like super busy, and I was like, Mom, we're just getting teas, so I'll just run in real quick. I'll get them, and then we can go. So I like walk inside, and I mean, the parking lot was pretty full, which was weird. Like, it was pretty early in the morning. We walk inside, or I walk inside, my mom stayed in the car, and there's just like sitting down, there's just like 30 to 45 just straight up Amish people, like head to toe covered, and I swear to God, just like cloth dresses, suits, hats, like the whole ordeal, just sitting there like eating McDonald's. And I was really confused because I was like, okay, it is, I mean, I know it's early in the morning, but it is probably like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Y'all should be like sweating
really
buckets.
Hot.
Also, McDonald's is like the largest fast food chain in the entire world, and I mean, I don't have any Amish friends. I don't really know any Amish people, but I'm pretty sure if you're Amish, you should not be eating fast food. So I walk in there, and they're all just leisurely sitting down. I mean, I didn't notice any electronics, so like they weren't breaking that rule, I guess, but I get my teas, and like they're all just sitting there, and I left. Didn't see them the rest of the trip, but that was definitely interesting.
Is there a predominant like Amish community in North Carolina, or is that like...
No, not at all. I mean, I think in the United States, the most Amish people live in like Pennsylvania, and like just like really, you know, isolated towns of Pennsylvania is where like the biggest Amish population is at. And in terms of where I was in North Carolina, like the Wright Memorial is there, so it's a super touristy town.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I don't know why that's a huge attraction for the Amish either. I mean, a touristy town with, like, just, like, large corporation businesses, you really shouldn't be seeing about 45 Amish people. But I did, so...
You said that the parking lot was full, but was it full of, like, rickshaws and horses and things like that, or, like...
No, just full of cars. I mean, I don't know how many people they packed in each car, but, like...
Well, then that means that these Amish people must have walked to a McDonald's, because they don't drive cars.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, for
in
these
this
Amish
full
people...
get-up.
Yeah. Either they walked, or they're just breaking all the rules, because, like, they're eating at McDonald's.
Just wearing the outfits, not actually... Yeah.
They're just gonna play the part. Maybe they were, like, inside... I don't know. I don't think they were in a play. It was 9 in the morning. But they were just head to toe Amish.
Oh, wow. That's
Kid
awesome.
you not.
Well, here at Silver Creek, I'm sure you would agree, you're a pretty active person in the Silver Creek community.
Yeah.
What has that been like? I mean, people have varying degrees of, being introverts and extroverts and participating in school events and things like that. So what has it been like for you, being sort of one of the faces, quote unquote, of Silver Creek?
I think part of me has just been kind of used to it because I am a super outgoing person. So, in my day-to-day life, and I mean, I have gone to school with all these people that most people go to Silver Creek for, since I was in the 2nd grade. So about 10 years I've been going to school with all these people. So, I mean, I'm used to, like, intermixing between, like, every single person that goes here, making conversation with everyone. I think, like, in my day-to-day interactions at Silver Creek, I walk through the halls and, like, I'll just get tons of different people that'll say hi to me, like, band, dance, any kind of sport, like, people that are in the art program or, like, love electronics or anything like that. Like, I can be friends with, like, a lot of people that go here. I think throughout my high school experience, what's been weird to me is the amount of people in the district that have, like, I've somehow reached out to or managed to meet, or not even meet, but, like, people in the district will just know about me. And I guess, like, I do have a pretty big social media presence, so that's probably the reason. This year was the most interesting experience for me, though. So I'm on the dance team at Silver Creek, all 4 years. Sure. That's another one of just, like, school spirit things, I guess. So football game, like, biggest football game of the season, because we were playing our rival Longmont, and it was our home game, even though we were at their field. So, super packed game, like, huge rivalry, bigger than it should have been, just because we were at their field and we were the home team. So I remember standing there, and when you stand there for the dance team and you're not cheering, you're watching the game. So, like, I'm just standing there, hands behind my back with my little palms, just, like, watching the game, and all of a sudden, like, I'd faintly hear my name. And I, like, kind of turned around, and I turned and looked at Eve, because she was standing right next to me, Eve Edwards, she's my best friend. And I was like, did you hear that? And she was like, yeah. And then it, like, kept going, and I heard, like a Sydney Hunnel. And I was just like, what? And then, like, I heard it the 3rd time, because every single time that you do a cheer at a football game, like, you do it 3 times.
Okay. So
I heard it faintly the 1st time. I definitely heard it the 2nd time. And then, like, me and Eve, for sure, heard it that 3rd time.
Right.
And, coming from the other side of the football field was just the Longmont student section chanting my name.
It wasn't our student section?
No,
it was theirs.
It was their Longmont student section. Longmont High School. Like, I've never gone to Longmont High School. I mean, I know kids there, but not a huge affiliation with the school Longmont. I mean, I'm should have been a Raptor person. So I kind of look at her and I'm just like, was that my name? She's like, yeah, I think they were just chanting your name. And I was just like, okay, I don't have any affiliation with the football team. Other than that, I'm on dance team. I think it was just super weird. I'm like, we're over here chanting, like, get a touchdown, score more points, like, go defense, like, go Silver Creek kind of things, and they're wasting their cheer on a Silver Creek student that doesn't play football.
And it wasn't like their dance team or anything that was leading this cheer. It was just, like, independent student section.
No, it was just their whole student section. Probably just a couple seniors that started it, and I was just kind of like, all right, like, okay, I guess that's just it for this game or whatever. So then, dance team, before we perform, we go on the over by the goalpost on the right-hand side, and we, like, practice.
Mm-hmm.
So we were over there practicing, and I think for this particular dance, we had to do, like, a cool move, like a headstand or something. And so I get up into my headstand to practice it, and all of a sudden I hear, Sydney, Sydney, Sydney.
From the student.
Yeah, from the Longmont student section again. So I, like, looked at them, and I was just like, I just kind of look at them, and, like, some people, like, started waving at me. And I was like, all right, for sure. So I, like, waved back, and I was just like, okay. So then I, like, kept practicing or whatever. And then there's probably about 2 minutes left before halftime, and they chanted my name again.
3 times?
Yeah, they did the whole, like, Sydney Hunnel again. And then, right after that one, they started chanting my ex-boyfriend's name, who went to Longmont High School.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, all right, like, I see you guys, like, okay. Then they started chanting Christiana's name, but they chanted her Twitter, her Twitter and her
Twitter
Instagram
handle?
name. So they were like, CV Ballet.
Just, like, making the rounds?
Yeah, they were just like, they just kept going. And then, I mean, all right, fourth quarter at the end of the game when we obviously lost because, like, they're a pretty good football team, I guess. They were like, they had one more, and this one was kind of mean, and I definitely got some apologies from their student section for sure. It was basically just like, this was easy, just like, yeah. But, you know, Andrew Voidite, he used to go here. He came up and he was like, I told them that was wrong, and, like, I'm so sorry. I think they just got caught up in the moment. But I think that was the most interesting to me, just because there was 4 separate ones.
Yeah.
But the same thing happened at the basketball game this year.
This was
again,
a constant thing.
Yeah, this happened again at the
Where
Silver Creek.
every Longmont game that keeps happening.
Yeah, the Silver Creek Longmont basketball game. I think it was their home this time. It was at Longmont, and they only did the one. They only did the Sydney Hunnel. But yeah, that was interesting. And then also I've been holding on to the spirit stick for the senior class.
Sure.
Carrying it to, you know, every football and basketball game, just like bringing it for school spirit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And at the Longmont basketball game that was home, you know, after the game, like, all the students, I don't know why everyone does this, just, like, instinctively go down onto the court. You know, like, all the students from the stands, just when the game's over, you just go down on the court and talk to the team. Well, so I go down there, like, hold my little spirit stick, and I was talking to someone, and this girl from Longmont, I don't even know who she was, she comes up and just, like, rips the spirit stick from me.
Someone stole the spirit stick?
Tried.
Okay.
I, like, turned around, I was like, there's no way, and I, like, shoved it into her, pulled it out of her hand, and then she just ran away.
Wow.
And I was like, there's no way, because, you know, last year someone stole a spirit stick.
Like actually was able to steal it?
Yeah, a Longmont student stole our spirit stick from the senior class and kept it for 3 months. Our school had to threaten to have them suspended if they didn't give it back.
Wow.
So they did.
How did they steal it that time?
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure. I think it was at a football game, but they just managed to, basically what happens is, like, one of the students from their side just come over, rip it from the hands, and just run.
It. But you weren't letting that
But this
happen.
time I was like, there is no way, like, this is mine.
It's in good hands then, I guess. What about instances here at Silver Creek, I guess on the more social side, not pertaining to like sports and things like that? What sorts of interesting things have you experienced during your time here? Yeah,
I mean, I think I've definitely been super diverse in, like, the things that I decide to do outside of school, whether it's, like, hang out with friends, like, at bookstores, or, like, you know, just hang out, like, late on a Friday night or whatever. Something really funny to me happened, though, actually, like, a year ago, 3 days ago. It was, like, March 28th last year. And a couple of girls from the district, so it was me, Mackenzie Hill, Christiana Vasquez, and then a girl that goes to Skyline, a girl that goes to Niwot, and then a girl that went to Longmont. So they were 3 seniors, and then we were 3 juniors, and we, like, for a couple months, like, we were just, like, this really tight group of, like, 6 girls. Mm-hmm. And so we all just decided to hang out at the Longmont girl's house, and her name's Allie. We all decided to hang out, like, have a little girls' night, like, have a sleepover or whatever, and our friend Megan, the Niwot girl, she was talking to this guy named Tucker, and so she was like, hey, can I bring Tucker, like, he can hang out with us or whatever, and I was like, yeah, for sure, like, that sounds like fun. So Megan and Tucker show up, and, we open the door of Allie's house, and he's just carrying a car seat with a baby in it, but a fake baby.
Okay.
It was a fake baby he had for a school project, and we were just like, is that your baby? And he was just like, yeah.
Really chill about it.
Yeah, he was super chill. He was just like, yeah, like, I mean, seriously, looked at us like,
where's your baby?
Yeah, looked at us like we had never seen a fake baby before. Like, why are you questioning this kind of thing? I was just like, okay, for sure. So, he brings the baby in. This was probably about 9:00. And, we're all just hanging out. I ended up hanging out with, like, Allie's younger brother. His name's Andrew. And I think it was about, like, 11:00 when, I don't know why, but Megan and Tucker just decided to go get some Dairy Queen. And, like, we didn't even really notice them leaving. I don't really remember what was going on. Probably, like, a movie or something. But, Megan and Tucker just leave. And, yeah, we were all in the basement. And probably about 30 minutes later, we just hear this baby just start crying. And, normally we'd be like, we'd think it was just outside or something. And then we all just kind of realized, like, wait, there's a baby. Like, we have a baby. And so, first of all, he kept the baby by this, like, bike exercise machine behind the couch. So, like, the baby wasn't even in plain sight. So, like, we had to find the baby.
You had to find the baby.
Yeah. And so we find this baby, and then we realized, like, wait, you can't actually feed this thing or, like, change its diaper without the sensor. And Tucker didn't give us the sensor.
Like the bracelet thing?
Yeah, the bracelet that you're supposed to wear to take care of the baby. So we've got this kid who we actually can't get a hold of. We, like, tried calling Megan and Tucker. And he has the little sensor. So there are Dairy Queens somewhere in town. There's, like, 3 Dairy Queens in town. So they're somewhere. And then we just have this baby that's just crying. And we were just like, okay.
They left it behind with you guys?
Yeah, they left the baby, didn't tell us about it, and then didn't leave the sensor for us to take care of the baby when it starts crying. So
they basically forgot the baby.
Yeah, so basically the entire purpose of his project was ruined in the first, like, 3 hours that he had the project. So, I mean, obviously they show up like an hour later. I mean, what we ended up doing is we were like, all right, so we can't take care of this baby and we don't want to listen to it cry anymore. So we just kind of put it somewhere we wouldn't really have to hear it crying.
Where did you put it?
I don't even remember. Probably turned up the music a little bit. Maybe put it in a closet.
And you guys just have this crying baby that you're all, like, ignoring.
Yeah. And, actually, like, I think what ended up happening is Kenzie and Allie and Christiana, like, ended up leaving to hang out with some people and, like, drive around. I stayed there with Andrew. The baby was somewhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure after, like, 30 minutes of that thing crying, it just stops because it's being neglected.
At that point, it's
I mean, Tucker and Megan didn't show up till, like, 12 or 12:30, and we were all just like, you realize, like, you left your baby. And he just had no care. I mean, I'm sure he just failed the project. But that was an interesting night for sure, because we were just not expecting him to show up with a baby.
Right.
And, didn't turn out well for him, but it was pretty funny.
That's awesome. One more question, and then we'll close out. What was there an instance during your time here at Silver Creek where, sort of, when you're in the moment, you're thinking, like, this is crazy, like, there's no way this is happening, and then now that you've gotten out of it, and now looking back, you're still kind of amazed at what happened?
I think to an extent, okay, I have, like, a funny story that isn't, like, a huge deal, but it was actually pretty funny. Like, I still can't believe this kind of was said to me, I guess.
Okay.
'Cause, at Silver Creek, I feel like we're a pretty, like, super inclusive community. Yeah. Like, really friendly to everyone, and, like, if you're meeting someone for the first time, you're going to be super nice to them, and that's just, like, the community of Silver Creek. Well, my first day of school here at Silver Creek, freshman, I was, like, such a cute little, like, I had, my new Lily Pulitzer skirt and, like, just my new outfit, my new bag. I was so excited, like, so psyched to be in high school. I was at my locker. So I was wearing the shirt, and it was a polo shirt, so it had, like, the standard buttons and collar, and it was, like, a halter shirt, though, so it was, like, haltered up, but, like, collar, buttons, whatever. And this one button that was like the top button just like kept popping open. Like it was so annoying. It just kept popping open. So I just remember walking down the E-wing, and I was with Isabella at HU. We were walking to our locker, and I remember, this button popped open, and I looked down, and I was like, not again. Mm-hmm. So I like face inside my locker so that nobody like sees me kind of like fiddling with my
Right,
buttons
yeah,
or whatever, because
sure.
I was like, I don't want to look weird. And these two, I'm pretty sure they were seniors. These two senior guys like walk by me. And this guy looks at me, and I just kind of look at him, and I've got, like, my hands on my buttons, and I'm just kind of standing there, and he goes, wow, first day of high school, you're undressing already. And I was just like, little freshman me, I was like,
horrified.
like, my button just popped open, and, like, before I could even get anything out, he just left. And I was like, Isabella, my life is over. Like, I'm stereotyped forever. Like, this is awful.
This is me now.
But like now I look back on that moment, and I'm just like, I don't remember who those guys even were.
Right.
But like, I think I'm always just gonna remember that, like, first day of high school. And that's that's the stereotype, is like you watch a movie and you think that kind of stuff is gonna happen every day.
Yeah.
But like, I've never seen anything like that happen ever again at Silver Creek.
Right.
But
You
like
got the
it
one
was,
and done.
Yeah, it was
Got it
that
out of the
one
way.
day where it was just like something like that, like a movie moment would happen, and then it was just like the most like inclusive and safe environment I've ever been in. But like besides that one time where I was just scarred for like the first week of high school, I was like, okay, I'm never wearing buttons again.
I'm transferring.
Like, mom polos are out, like I'm not wearing it. So yeah, I thought that was pretty, something I never really expected, but it was funny, and I'll always remember that.
That's awesome. Well, to close out, what does school pride mean to you? I mean, like, what does it mean for you to be a Raptor, graduating as a Raptor, and what in general does it mean for you to have school pride? Like, what does that mean to somebody?
I think having school pride is like one of the most important things that I've done throughout high school, just because being a part of something larger than yourself, I think, is so important. And I think that being in high school and like having so much school spirit and just being so happy and excited every day to be a Raptor and to be so passionate about that has made my high school experience so much better than it would have been if I wasn't happy about this. And I walk through the halls, and like every single day you can have a connection with someone just because you're a Raptor. And going to school events and supporting everyone in your school is a fun thing, and it's fun to do. It's good to say, like, I love the Raptor music program, or like, I love the Raptor dance team, I love the Raptor football team, just because like this is something that we all have in common and we're all here to share. And so I think that like making connections throughout high school has been so important to me, that like, once a Raptor, always a Raptor. We're all going to graduate and we're all going to move on with our lives, but we'll all always be Raptors.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Sydney.
Thanks, Hunter.